Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Improv Gaming. Cheers to you too, sir. And let's just jump right into it. Oh, why did I say that? That was a little too much.
No, that was just right.
No. Somebody else says that. I'm a big fan of them, but I feel bad for saying that. Today, we're talking about best practices in publishing. It's not a gaming thing.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just... Oh, I know who
You know who, right? That beautiful bastard.
Spoilers.
Best practices in publisher development, blah, blah, blah. What are the things that a publisher or a developer can do outside of obviously creating the game and what they put into the game to get you interested in a title?
Show their compassion.
Show their compassion. Their compassion or their passion?
Their passion about the project.
Okay.
So, example being, something like E3 or something. You see these people go on stage, you know. Look at South Park. Stick of Truth. When you had Matt and Trey. I knew it. Matt and Trey come up and they were just there like, yeah, we did this and we did. And you can see how passionate they were. Obviously, they're not the developers and publishers. But you could see like, and even with developers, look at Insomniac Games, Ted Price, one of my favorite developers. And he's like, this is what we got and it's going to be so cool. And you're just like, man, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
For Honor.
For Honor is a great example.
That gentleman who's just like, who looks like he's a Viking knight and samurai. He's like, you're going to go into this world, and it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen. I was like, tell me more, bearded man.
Or Yarny, right? Yarny's developer came out, and I know that was a very near and dear example of exactly what you're talking about. On the flip side, though, if I might contest you.
Yeah, of course.
You have the situation with and I hate to fucking bring it up, but let's switch to this, where the guy who was talking about Splatoon 2 just looked kind of like a buffoon up on stage trying to talk about, and again, it's the same kind of passion, the same level of enthusiasm, but he came off as a buffoon. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like this could go either way, right? It could go where I have so much passion. The guy that did the Unravel, he was passionate about it.
Like I have Yarny here.
For Honor, the guy was like in character, like you're like, this is an actor that came out here, this isn't a guy that's actually working on the game, and he was a guy that was actually working on the game. So my thing with developers, because you've said yours about being passionate and stuff like that, my thing that a developer can do probably better than anything else, in my opinion, is show me gameplay. I don't want to know about your gameplay. When you're advertising your game, show me how it plays. That's it. That's all I want to know, is how does it play? Because there's a lot of times when I was growing up, and I'll give you the example. When I was growing up, my first delve into Final Fantasy had been a situation where I didn't even know what the game mechanics were on Final Fantasy 7. So I got into Final Fantasy X and
great game.
Disappointed about the gameplay. Very happy about the game overall at the end, right? I gave it a shot and I was like, all right, let me play it. But I was a very much action RPG kind of guy, not a JRPG kind of guy or a turn-based RPG kind of guy. So when I went into that, I was just like, oh, crap, what the fuck is this? Shit. And then I was like, you know what? Fucking, I spent this money on it. I got to play it. I gotta give it some time. And I played it and I fucking fell in love with the game. I fell in love with the franchise as a whole at that point. Even though all the hype behind Final Fantasy VII. So, instead of me risking that, right? Like, the experience turned out great, but there's been other times where it's just been shit. Instead of risking that, just show me what the game plays like. Like Mass Effect Andromeda came out. And not that they were gonna diverge so far from the previous Mass Effect, but you saw that he had a jump with the booster pack. You saw that he could analyze. You saw that he could do this, and it was like, okay, all right, I see.
So you like the added feature, or like
I don't
not added feature, but it's like, hey, this is something you can do now in this, you know. Like for example, let me back it down a little bit.
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay.
It's like, hey, you now can like view how the terrain is. If you go to these guys, they control the map, and they're like the towers in Far Cry or something like that. Where so that interests you. Not exactly like, hey, I'm going to take out this guy, but it's like the way, like it's like, hey, let me show you a cool way that nobody's ever seen before.
Yeah, kind of like that, right? But also like to go back to what you were saying, kind of in the middle of that, which is like I want to see how Aloe walks. Mm-hmm. I want to see how she interacts with the world, right? So when she's taking down one of those Dinobots, I guess we'll call them that. When she's taking down one of those Dinobots, she's kind of like, she's taking them down, and then she puts it down peacefully, and she's like, rest in peace, or whatever she's saying, thank you for your sacrifice, whatever she says, some like tribal, kind of like native tribal thing that she says, and it's like, oh, all right, yeah, now I'm getting a feel for the character through the gameplay. Now I'm understanding what this is about. It's kind of like hunting, and it's kind of scavenger, and it's kind of RPG, and it's open world, and it's sneaking, so it's got all these dynamics. And that one scene teaches you all of that about the game and gives you an idea of what kind of a game you're getting yourself into. When developers don't put gameplay out there, we just recently went through Halo Wars 2. We just recently showed that on the channel. Check that out, youtube.com/ImprovGaming. We recently went through that, and at the end, we finally got like these 3 little images of what the gameplay looked like.
The campaign, the multiplayer, the blitz mode.
Yeah, and it was like, that's not enough. Like, I want to see what kind of RTS style you're playing with. I want to, because there's tons.
I want to see the bar at the bottom to say, maybe here's to click this guy, or this is a fast select.
I want to understand what kind of dynamic you've got going on in your RTS. What makes your RTS better than other RTSs out there? What makes your RTS stand out? Like, I know what an RTS is.
But what sets yours apart? I understand. I completely agree. It's like, a good example is, especially with indie, it's like there's a whole bunch of indies that flood the market. But it's like, what makes yours so special? And you have, Playdead being like, we have it where... And if you played inside, to run away from the dog, you have that exact split second before the dog gets you. And it's that game design that it's like, hey, we could have it where you could beat him by a mile, or you can be eaten every time. But it's like, no, we have it where to the moment that you jump over that fence, you barely, and it just shows that attention to detail. It's like, this is something that nobody else can do. It's like, look at what we can do. Other games may do something similar, but we're doing it where dog's coming and you just get over. It's the same thing like with the Resident Evil 7. The demo came out the beginning hour.
Yeah.
And you had this videotape, and it was, like I said, it's like, this is a cool way to look into the past. So it's like, hey, you always have your flashbacks, but here's a videotape you play, and then you're some other character. So it's interesting because developers could do so much more, I think, at E3 when it comes to what you were saying. Hey, look at when Aloy takes down a robot dinosaur, man. Watch how her hair moves, because there was a breeze in the wind, and how she took him down.
The thing I don't like, right? And this is kind of drawing upon what you just said. The thing I don't like, right? When you show me gameplay footage and you tell me what to look for, shut up, sit down, and let me appreciate it. So when they're saying like something like, hey, look, when she takes this down, the wind blows through her hair because we did this, that. I don't care. I want to see if it looks good.
That was the problem with The Last Guardian.
Yeah, I don't care if what you did is like this technological fucking masterpiece. I don't care, because to be honest, who gives a shit? If it doesn't look good, nobody's gonna fucking play it.
That was the problem with Last Guardian. It's like, oh, look at Trico, all his feathers. He has like a flow for every feather, and it sees throughout the game. The wind hits, and you see all his feathers move. Like, it's not like as a conjoint, but separately, and it's like, cool. But the
your
game has
sucks.
The game.
Well, not sucks. It has issues.
It has a lot of PlayStation 2 issues, but it's like, but yeah, look at the feathers on him, and I was like, yeah, but
But why should I?
Why should
why should I?
That's why, and you could tell, and it brings just back to the past. I feel that you can tell when a developer believes in their game. Because, you know, everybody knows. The developer knows that their game is shit.
Yeah.
You know, if your game is terrible, you know, a good example would be like Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Okay.
They knew their game wasn't great, you know, but they were like, oh, we have this new technique and everything. But when you honestly see the passion that these guys have and girls have, when they're like, let me take a walk with you and show you why I'm so passionate about this game, you know, it just escalates that much more.
A good example of the right way to do it would be, for me, Eagle Flight Demo E3. That's a good example of how to do it, right? Eagle Flight, not a graphically impressive game, not even a complex mechanic kind of game. It's got VR, you're using a controller, and you're flying. And basically, it's football in air. Capture the flag in air.
Yeah.
And what they did was they sat 4 people down to have a competition in front of the audience. So you got to see gameplay, you got to see the interactivity, you got to see the excitement, you got to see that they were passionate about the project because the way that they talked about it. So you saw all of that. But again, it's not like it was great. Like, they weren't saying, hey, look at the fucking wings on the Eagle. Who gives a shit about the wings on the fucking Eagle? You know, they were just like, no, this is a game for you to fucking play, and it's just for the mere enjoyment of flying in VR. That's pretty much why we made it, and we could have fun with this kind of concept.
Well, my last example on top of that, Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
They had a thing where 5 people came, and they were not like, look at all these new features. It's like, no, you put a breach charge on the window explodes, you go through the window, everybody's like, oh, that's so cool. Oh, you can break the floor up? Oh, my God. And what does this guy do? Oh, he throws grenades in? And it's like watching and seeing the excitement where it's like, you know, of course, they're like, tango, tango, you know?
Yep.
But it's like, you see how cool it'd be like, because in that game, you could have that down to a pinning. You know, you're going here, and we're all going to converge right now. And it's just a military, like, grade A case. Obviously, the game's not played like that all the time. But it's cool to see, like, these players who show the excitement. And it's not the developers going, you know, look what else we did here, you know. Because it's like, hey, have fun. You'll notice things on your own. It's like... And I think Rainbow Six Siege was, and I said to you, one of my favorite things at E3 because you saw the excitement.
Yeah.
Same thing with the last example I'll do was, what game was I very excited for? Sea of Thieves. Perfect example.
Perfect example. Because
that's the way to do it.
They were there, and it was so like it spanned the gamut from things to do. Like, we're partying and drinking. Oh, guys, I think I'm a little too drunk over here. And then you guys get on the boat and you guys are going to search for treasure. Oh shit, there's a ship. Sober the fuck up.
Yeah.
And you know, it was like this whole like spanning the gamut of things to do. Hey, we got to drop. We got to raise the whole the anchor and start and set on sail and blah 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 and this and that. And there was so much to do in that game, and the excitement just like bled through the screen.
Yeah, and you could see it. And I was like, damn, I want to be a part of it. That's what I want. And that's what developers have to do, you know? It's not exactly like what we're basically saying, and I think it's like, hey, look at that. That's cool. Let us play, let us experience, because you're going to get that organic feeling it's not forced upon.
Let us experience your game, right? And try not to hold anything back, right? If your game sucks, then your game is going to suck regardless. You know, but let us experience it. And I think this goes back to our previous episode, if I might make an addendum to that, where if you let us experience it organically without the taint or whatever it is of a reviewer, then you don't need a reviewer. Yeah. You're allowing us to experience that excitement that you experience naturally, and you're allowing us to experience it very organically.
That's the best thing. Like, demos and betas are the best way.
I think
because it shows, hey, do you want to play more of this? The game's coming out. For Honor did great. This past weekend they had a thing, you know, and now it comes out as of recording this tomorrow, last week for you, and it's like, enjoy. We gave you a test. We gave you a little tease. See what you think.
Let us know in the comments what you think. What are the best practices that developers and publishers can put out there in order for you to enjoy a game? Let us know in the comments below. And if you didn't know, I'm always joined by the host with the most, Mr. I'm Wondering himself, with the fedora cap in tow. It is Mr. Peter Anderson.
What's going on, guys? And of course, the host of today's episode, He only has the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
He's got great things planned for Improv Gaming.
I do have great things planned for Improv Gaming.
It's Mr. Nicholas De Jesus.
How's it going tonight, everybody? If you like what you see, subscribe, hit the like button, and share our beautiful faces with your beautiful friends. But until next time,
game on.